In 1956, Enzo Ferrari's son, Alfredo, known as Dino, passed away from muscular dystrophy at just 24 years old. Before his death, he helped conceive a new V6 engine for Ferrari's racing program. A decade later, that specific engine design became critical. To compete in the 1967 Formula 2 season, the FIA required Ferrari to homologate their V6 by putting it into 500 production road cars. At the time, Ferrari was a boutique racing outfit. Building 500 road-going cars in a single year was completely beyond their physical production capacity. To meet the quota, Enzo Ferrari struck an unprecedented deal with Fiat. Fiat would mass-produce the V6 engines, and both companies would build road cars around them. This compromise created a shared lineage of vehicles. Fiat and Ferrari both released cars bearing the Dino name, sharing the exact same beating heart. Because of this specific homologation loophole, the modern Dino market is wildly fragmented. Navigating it today means deciding exactly which piece of that history you want to buy into. Today, you can enter the Dino family for about $40,000, or you can spend over $1 million. The Fiat Dino Coupe averages $40,000, and the 308 GT4 $60,000. The Fiat Spider hits $150,000. At the peak, the 246 GT reaches $350,000, and the 246 GTS clears $600,000, sometimes crossing $1 million. With a price spread this massive, your buying decision comes down to matching a specific Dino variant with your mechanical tolerance, your investment goals, and your actual budget. The undisputed blue-chip assets of this lineage are the Ferrari 206 and 246 GT. They are defined by their mid-engine layout and iconic Pininfarina styling. The earliest iteration, the 206 GT, featured a lightweight aluminum body and a 2.0-liter engine. Ferrari built just over 150 of these before transitioning to the 246 GT, which utilized a heavier steel body and a larger 2.4-liter block to ease production constraints and boost power. What drives the overwhelming demand for these cars is the bodywork. The sweeping, curvaceous Pininfarina design embodies the classic Ferrari mystique that collectors pay massive premiums to own. That premium spikes even higher if the roof comes off. The 246 GTS target top variant commands significantly more at auction than the fixed-roof GT. If a GTS features the rare factory chairs and flares option, meaning it has wider wheel arches and Daytona-style seats, the auction ceiling multiplies again. But acquiring a 246 GT or GTS means locking up massive capital in what effectively becomes garage art. Pushing one of these cars hard on a back road puts hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity at physical risk. To actually realize those peak auction values for a 246, you need Ferrari Classique certification, often referred to as the Red Book. This inspection process is unforgiving. To pass, you have to strip away any modern aftermarket modifications, like upgraded exhausts or improved cooling systems, and return the car to its exact original factory specification. Securing the Red Book requires paying steep factory fees, and maintaining that status keeps you locked into an expensive ecosystem of approved parts and specialized mechanics. Maximizing your financial return at auction forces you to forfeit total personal freedom over how you modify and maintain your vehicle. If you want to escape that high-stakes ecosystem, look at the other side of the homologation deal, the Fiat Dino Coupe and Spider. Underneath the hood, these Fiats carry the exact same 2.0-liter and 2.4-liter V6 engines as the million-dollar Ferraris. The mechanical divergence is in the chassis. Unlike the mid-engine Ferraris, the Fiats use a traditional front-engine layout. The early models also relied on a live rear axle suspended by leaf springs. They also split on styling. Bertone handled the elegant, understated design of the coupe, while Pininfarina penned the flamboyant, curvier Spider. Buying a Fiat Dino gives you the analog joy of revving Enzo's F2 derived V6 engine without paying a 500% markup for a prancing horse badge. There is one final option in the Dino lineage. The 308 GT4 abandoned the homologation V6 entirely in favor of a modern 3.0-liter V8 platform. It was a radical physical departure from the 246. Bertone designed a sharp, angular wedge shape and stretched the wheelbase to accommodate a practical 2+2 seating arrangement. Those polarizing 1970s aesthetics kept the car out of favor with traditionalists, which historically suppressed its appreciation on the collector market. It even struggled with its identity, initially launching as a Dino in the US, before dealers hastily added Ferrari badges to boost sales. But underneath the wedge styling, the chassis handles exceptionally well. The 308 GT4 is the misunderstood middle ground. It gives you true mid-engine dynamics and Ferrari V8 power at a fraction of the cost of its predecessors. With 4 distinct tiers to choose from, you have to weigh your appetite for financial risk against how much you actually want to drive. We can map this decision on a quadrant. The vertical axis represents investment potential and asset protection. The horizontal axis represents usability and guilt-free driving. The elite collector tier sits in the top left. A Classiche-certified 246 GTS offers maximum financial return, but minimum drivability if you want to protect that value. The middle ground moves to the right. A driver-conditioned 246 GT offers strong value retention with a bit more freedom, while the Fiat Dino Spider gives you open-top motoring with slightly less financial exposure. Finally, the pure driving tier anchors the bottom right. The Fiat Dino Coupe and the 308 GT4 have lower investment ceilings, which means you can drive them hard without financial guilt. If you are an optimizer focused strictly on capital preservation, your target is a Chairs and Flares 246 GTS. You will need to submit to the strict Classiche certification process, but your equity will be protected. If you are a purist who wants to push a mid-engine analog sports car on canyon roads, buy the 308 GT4. You get the authentic driving dynamics without the fear of massive depreciation. And if you are a budget-conscious enthusiast, the Fiat Dino Coupe is the market's greatest in efficiency. You can acquire that legendary racing engine purely for the love of driving. Entering the Dino market forces a choice. You can buy a pristine artifact to preserve under glass, or a machine built to embrace the raw, mechanical reality of the road.